Hey everybody, Al Iverson here. It's time for another one of your email authentication and deliverability questions answered. This time around, that question is, are the Google and Yahoo sender requirements a good thing? We are just about 1 year after Yahoo and Google announced their updated sender requirements. For those who don't remember what those are, I'm not going to go deep into them, but at the very highest level, it's that you need to authenticate mail, you need to make it easy to unsubscribe, and you need to send wanted mail. Keep complaint rates low. I'm going to focus here on authentication. And so, looking at it through the lens of authentication, how do we measure what sort of success Google and Yahoo have seen as a result of these new requirements? Well, thankfully, Google shared some data with Forbes to help put some numbers around this and actually help tell us where things are now with regard to email authentication and the amount of properly authenticated mail that Google is seeing inbound to Gmail. This past week, the Toronto meeting of the Messaging, Malware, and Mobile Anti-Abuse Working Group, MOG, took place. At these conferences, this is a group of mailbox providers, email service providers, security companies, email automation tools, all get together and collaboratively work to address spam and abuse prevention related issues in the email ecosystem. As part of that, Google released some data specific to email authentication and what they're seeing now that these new sender requirements are in place. They allowed Forbes to publish that, and I'm going to highlight that for you here. The numbers that Forbes shared are this: 65% reduction in authenticated messages sent to Gmail users, meaning much more mail is authenticating properly compared to previously. 50% more bulk senders started following best practices for email security. So that's a significant jump in the number of people that have properly implemented email authentication and security protocols. Then the final stat here is 265 billion fewer unauthenticated messages sent in 2024. Again, along with that first number there, that tells us that there's much more authenticated mail coming into Gmail compared to years past. Now, what do we actually get from that? Is that a good thing? Or is that a bad thing? I think that is very much a good thing. When I look at it from the perspective of, are we increasing the adoption of email deliverability and security and protection, domain protection best practices? Yes, we are. More authentication means less ambiguity around sender deliverability and security. Email authentication is not proof that somebody's good or bad, but what it does is it gives a stable identifier to apply to inbound email messages so that a mailbox provider like Gmail can attach reputation to that. So it's a twofold thing, right? It's a 1-2 thing. The step one, authenticate so that you can know specifically who that person is, know that the domain involved really is theirs, that it's not being phished or spoofed or faked. And then number two, add reputation to that, right? They go together well so that you got authentication and reputation helps these big mailbox providers be able to better determine what is good mail and what is bad mail, what should be allowed through and what shouldn't. So again, authentication is part of that puzzle. It's not the whole thing. It's important to understand that it's just part of the whole security email security best practices ecosystem. You still have to send wanted mail. So authenticating your mail is not something where it allows you to send spam or send unwanted mail. Still have to follow all those best practices. But the key here is that you, by authenticating your mail, you're helping Google better figure out good mail from bad mail overall. That is a very positive thing. Keep in mind, there's a flip side there, though, too, and that we've got a ways to go. When I look at my 10 million domains data, I've been tracking DMARC adoption month by month, going back for more than a year now. 20% of those top 10 million domains publish a DMARC record. But inside of that 20%, 53% of those have not implemented reporting, no RUA tag, which means they're blind to what's happening to their domain. Is somebody phishing them? Is somebody spoofing them? Are they having trouble implementing email authentication? Did something break? Without reporting in place, you're never going to know. You're not going to have visibility into any of that. There's no way for anybody to alert you to say, hey, suddenly you've got a spike in unauthenticated mail being rejected by mailbox providers. you're blind to all of that. So DMARC without reporting in place is only half implemented. It is not a good way to do things, and it really puts you in a bad place to know. It keeps you from knowing what's going on with your domain name. Now, of that 2 million, the 20% of the top 10 million that have a DMARC record, 71% of those are at a policy of P equals none, which means they're not protected against phishing and spoofing. To be protected, you need to be at quarantine or reject, and you would need to be, again, have that reporting to go along with it. So you've got half of these people don't have reporting in place, and then more than half of them are just at P equals none. What they did there is they explicitly followed the guidance given by Yahoo and Google, which says basically that P equals none is good enough. So they went exactly that far and no further. So that means people that have implemented DMARC, many of them still need to go further to actually protect their domains. And then there's still the whole big group out there in the email universe who have not yet published a DMARC policy. Some of those domains send mail, maybe some of those domains don't send mail, but everybody gets phished or spoofed someday. So every domain out there should have a DMARC policy and should have something in place to protect against unauthorized use of that domain in email. And there are a lot of domains out there that don't have that today. Thanks for watching. That's it for today. If you have any questions you'd like to see me answer in an upcoming video, please drop me an email at al.iverson@valimail.com. And if you have any questions about DMARC or email authentication, be sure to visit our website at valimail.com. DMARC is what we do, and we do it well. We'd be happy to help you start your DMARC journey today. Visit us, reach on out, and have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.